What's up, SMITE fans? It's Rathan here. I am back with a new series to help you guys all get a little bit better at SMITE. Today, we're going to be going over what I think are the top 5 most easily fixable mistakes that newer players make. If you change these things today, I guarantee you'll be a better player tomorrow. Make sure you guys subscribe if you like what you see. And as always, I'm available live almost every night on my Twitch channel if you have questions. So let's get to it. Starting off, number 5, infinite laning. New players do this all the time. They don't feel satisfied until they take care of a T1 or a T2, and sometimes won't give up a T1 or T2 for a more important objective like Gold Fury or Oni Fury or Fire Giant. A lot of times I see players who are sitting in lane until 25 minutes because they're defending their tier 1 instead of helping out their team. Fix this today. If you get a couple levels up on your enemy lane opponent, start rotating to those team fights. Get to those objectives. Start coming over into the middle of the map so your team can apply pressure. Nobody cares about the T1 after around 15 minutes. It's not a big deal. Moving on to number 4. This one is a very easy one to fix. It's called Phoenix Greed. We've all been there before. Our team has taken a Phoenix on the left-hand side. We're all backing out. We back. We go to Fire Giant. We take another objective. And then, boom, the Phoenix respawns. We still have a couple of waves of minion waves. But more often than not, what I see players do is look at that Phoenix and go, hey, you know what? It's got low health. It's just respawn. Let's just go over and tap it. That's the absolute wrong thing to do. You need to push a different lane and let the fire minions take care of it for you. This is huge. The fire minions basically act as another person on your team. And if they don't send somebody to stop that fire minion push, you guys are going to take the Phoenix no matter what, which allows you to get a 4v5 somewhere else or on a different objective. Always go for the full health Phoenix if you have fire minion waves or an Oni wave pushing. All right, moving on to number 3, objectives. This is a big one. Deciding whether or not to get a pick, go for poke, or push an objective. New players are notoriously horrible at this. The idea here is, what should I do based on my team comp when it comes to taking an objective? For example, if the enemy has a Kukulkan, somebody with a very long range, high damage ultimate, and my mid mage is a Merlin, somebody who does damage over time, they have what's called secure. This means that if it comes down to it, if all of my team's abilities are hitting the objective and this other ability comes in, for example, the Kukulkan ult, they are going to out-secure my team. So we have to do something else. We can't just sit on the objective and try and burn it down without them contesting it. That's when you want to go for either a pick or poke. So if I'm able to get the Kukulkan and pick him off, that's great. Now their secure is gone or they have less of it. Or the other option is to go for poke, which is just to push their team out a little bit, get everybody around half HP or lower, so that if they do come and try and contest the objective, somebody can take care of them. A solo laner can kill the Kukulkan. The rest of the team can engage on their supports or their other carries. You want to go for poke if you don't have the secure. The opposite is true if you have somebody with secure, somebody like a Ra or a Kukulkan or a Thoth. If you have one of those characters on your team or somebody who does a whole bunch of damage really quickly like Scylla, then you can push the objective, because if it comes down to it, your damage is going to out-secure the objective over the enemy team. This is very easily fixable, and all it has to do with is looking at the enemy team's composition, looking at your composition, and saying, hey, we can or cannot secure things if the enemy mid-mage or somebody with a high damage ability shows up. Fix this today. All right, on to number 2, and this is a much bigger concept when it comes to new players playing the game. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and stop playing scared. I see this all the time. Somebody who's not confident, somebody who's afraid of the enemy god and what they're able to do to them, sits under the tower, gets out pushed, gives up all of their farm. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The only way you get better at SMITE is by playing aggressively and understanding where the limit of what you're capable of is. If I know that I have tons of pressure and tons of early damage, and I'm a Ratatasker and I have an Anhur in the mid lane, right? If I don't play aggressively and learn where the boundaries of my damage and my survivability are, even in late game team fights, I'm never going to understand what a good and bad situation is for me. So especially when you're in casuals, maybe in ranked, it's okay to be a little bit more conservative. But if you're playing around in casuals or you're messing around in Joust, the best thing you can do for yourself is play as aggressive as possible without throwing the game. And learn when you die, or learn when you overstep, or learn when you go too far. Make a mental note of it. I can't engage on a Ratatasker. He's going to kill me. I'm Kali. Think of those things as you guys are doing them, but definitely don't play scared. You have to play aggressively if you want to learn. All right, on to number 1. This is the last one, the biggest one. It happens every time, in every role, every single game, and that's tunnel vision. I see this all the time when I play in viewer games, especially with newer players. You have people who are picking out targets before you can even see the enemy team. They have it in their head that, hey, I'm going to go for the Ra here, no matter what. The second thing, and this is usually for dive characters like solo laners or junglers, is chasing kills all the way to the back camps. If we're on the Gold Fury and we get them all down to 10%, they're probably not coming back. If you get somebody under 20% HP, they're likely going to have to return to base. So it's just as good as killing them, especially in the early game. Believe it or not, and this is crazy, in the early game, I think it's pre-level 5, it's actually quicker to get back to lane if you die because of how short the respawn timers are. So making them go back to an area of safety, back, buy their items, and then come back is actually longer than actually getting killed. So don't chase these kills. The second thing is, and this is more for the supportive characters, is leaving your teammates to die for the sake of confirming a kill. This happens all the time with supports. I've been teaching my younger brother, Jimmy Buffett 117, shout outs if you guys watch my stream. I've been teaching him how to support lately, and he is so guilty of this. It's amazing. You know, if the enemy jungler has 10% HP, you got a couple of abilities left, he does this a lot where 9 times out of 10, he'll try and chase him and confirm the kill while his Neath is getting dove in the backline. Don't do this. Use your abilities for what they're there for, which is protecting your team if you're a support, unless you are the engaged character. If you're Blink Jing Chen, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're a Geb or a Khepri or a Kumba, instead of going for the kill, just hold those abilities and make sure your team is safe. Those people probably aren't going to come back into the fight anyway. And if you're playing for an objective, unless they are capable of securing the objective, like we talked about earlier with Kukulkan or Ra, poking them out is perfectly fine. You don't have to get a kill, and most of the time, they are trying to bait you into a kill to waste your time. If you fix this today and start backing off when you get people low, you're going to be a better player tomorrow, I promise. So that's it, guys. Quick and dirty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more. I'm going to be doing a huge series on this, on the top 5 mistakes or tips or tricks or changes that you can do to get better at Smite. So stick around for some more, and I will see you guys on the next one.